I feel like there really needs to be a balance. Like we need to be able to hospitalize people when they reach kind of that level you're talking about of like, out in public at risk for arrest because they're doing something inappropriate that's, and you have to think about the consequences of arrest on a person's life. They're the same as when somebody without mental illness gets an arrest record. Housing becomes an issue. Jobs become an issue, and then it just further pushes them down in society.
It's fire season again. All right, so was that muted that whole time? I just saw the mute button on. Hopefully I wasn't. Dang it. So this is Weekly Update with Saving Grace. In case that was muted, I'm not Cassi McQueen, our executive director. She's out of town. What you just saw was episode 6 of Community Voices, our new VOD podcast that you can get on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, etc. So Holly, on that preview, she is the program manager with Deschutes County Mental Health. So we spent a good amount of time talking about the intersection of mental health and criminal justice. She shared about the new stabilization center that's based in Bend that just opened. And as of a couple of days ago, they have funding to be available 24 hours, to be open 24 hours, which is amazing. So check that out. I'll put that direct link in the comments on YouTube and Facebook. One need that we have is a car. We need a car. And when I say we, I mean one of our clients. I can't go into specifics. We try not to be at all identifying, but I can tell you that one of our clients is in need of a vehicle. So we posted that on our wish list Wednesday a couple weeks ago. And a friend of mine said, I just sold, my son's car and I totally would have donated it. So spread the word, please. You may have a friend with a car to donate and you don't even know it. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just something to help this client out. And we so appreciate it. If that is something you have available, please email me directly at ryan@saving-grace.org. So moving along, it was a tough week for us, I'll be honest. As some of you probably know, there was a DV-related homicide in Redmond. I believe it was first reported in the bulletin. You can look that up. It's on our website as well in the news section. And you can read all about it. I don't need to regurgitate the specifics. And then sadly, last Friday, so just a week ago, there was another homicide. And I'm going to show you this because I think it's really important. So this is Jezray, I believe is how you pronounce her name. This is a GoFundMe that looks like her cousin. Some cousins started for her. She was murdered at a hotel here in Bend. Just tragic. I know we all here at Saving Grace have been trying to wrap our mind around what happened to both Nicole and Redmond and to this young woman here. If you have the means to give, I'll put this direct link up as well. It's just tragic. It just shouldn't happen. And we're definitely grieving it, as I know many of you are, including her family, both Nicole's family and Jezreel's family. We're so sorry for your loss as you grieve. And there are some, extenuating circumstances that make it a whole, in Jezreel's set of circumstances, is that her murderer killed himself right afterwards. And I do have some stats on that I want to share. But before that, I wanted to share just my own kind of personal story, and I want to talk about perceptions of intimate partner violence. So when I first started with Saving Grace, it's been 2 years since I started, and I remember sharing this this PSA, this commercial idea I had with a colleague, and it was very much rooted in the stereotypes of domestic violence. And this individual was very patient and listened to my idea and said, you may want to spend some more time here before you start sharing some ideas, which was very nice. But she was right. My perception was what's, I think, in the movies, or what is very obvious, at least the very obvious forms of domestic violence. So I'm going to read this from a recent report. I think it's very apt for you to consider, either for a friend or family member, or even yourself, that maybe your relationship is not as healthy as you think. So here we go. It says the range of behaviors associated with domestic violence and coercive control is so wide, it is hard to make a full list. Here are some examples of behaviors that might give you a sense of what to look for. So these are just the most obvious. It'll be quick. Demonstrations of violence against inanimate objects, like punching walls, hurting pets, or threatening violence against strangers. Threats of self-harm, like committing suicide if the other person ever left or reported them. Threatening to take children by calling child protection or threatening court action. And I want to bring a point to this. Is this can happen when maybe the one who's being abused is possibly in counseling, and the abuser knows that they can twist that of how, possibly how easy it would be to convince everyone that you're not right. And so they use that against you, and then you feel you're manipulated, controlled, coerced into staying in something that's not healthy for you. Here's another one: limiting the ability of the survivor to work or access transportation, education, family, friends, the internet, and other forms of communication. On a past episode of Community Voices, our counseling center manager, Barb, shared that in her first marriage, that happened. She wanted to go back to school, and there was some huge barriers to that for her. Another sign of control. Pressuring someone to have sex when they don't want to is another one. Demanding the other person comply with whims, needs, and desires and demands. Accusing their partner of infidelity is another popular sign. Creating an unpredictable environment where no one knows what to expect, that environment of walking on eggshells. And so many times I've read or heard from survivors that they didn't know if they were going to get Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. So that's just some things to wrap your mind around. On our website, we have the check marks. Yeah, does your partner blank? And there's a whole list of things. And if you find yourself checking a number of those, please don't hesitate, even if it's just to talk it through, to call our helpline. The number is right here on our screen. We also have a chat line that's now available Monday through Friday. I'll put that direct link in the comments as well in just a minute. So let me make sure I can find what I wanted to read to you. So this is from a year-old report going back to Jezreel's murder. Is that a new study showed that out of 30,000, a little over 30,000 male suicides, those were connected to intimate partner violence problems with their partner. And 33% of those 30,000, or I'm sorry, of those 1,500. Let me start over. This is getting confusing. Let me just show you. Okay, so right here in this new study, an estimated 1,500 of 30,000 male suicides had problems with their partner, intimate partner problems. And then of those, 33% occurred during a breakup. So high emotion, and not only the high emotion, but if there was a present abuse, it's also the losing control. So the breakup's happening, they're losing control, and that is the tragic and violent outcome. So this is something that we can't just highlight here in a weekly update. We're already 10 minutes in. We try to keep these short. It's something we are going to be bringing a lot of new awareness around. One is too many. Two in Central Oregon in the past week is definitely too many. And again, I'll put the link to Jezree's GoFundMe if you'd like to support her family. And we'll continue to be putting out a lot of new materials here in the future, both on social media, potentially in print. And we're here for you. Please share the helpline number. Please swing by the office if you want and pick up these little safety cards that we had that are more discreet. If you wanted to slip one to a friend or a neighbor, it's a big deal, and we're here and we're wanting to help any and all survivors who need us. So thank you very much. This wraps another weekly update. Cassi will be back on next week, hopefully with a unmuted microphone. Everyone have a safe and good weekend.